Okay, a great day to one and all. Welcome to the September 2023 Licensure Examination for Teachers or LEP Review for Math Majors. Today, we will be discussing the answers and the rationale behind them, especially for items 121 to 140. I hope that your copies are ready. The PDF, I mean the copy of the test and also the copy of your answers. And as usual, let's hope that we could get at least 50% of the items. So we are hoping that you will get at least 10 out of 20 items. That's 50% for you to be considered passed for this particular portion of the LET review. So I hope you are ready and be reminded po of our directions. Write the letter, in your case, shade the letter of the correct answer. If the correct answer is not found among the choices, then you have to shade E. So let's start and let's begin the discussion with item number 121. Two unbiased dice, numbered 1 to 6, are rolled. How many outcomes have a sum of 9? Did you go for 2, 3, 4, or 5? All right. It seems many of us answered letter C. Okay, let's see if you got it right. And remember, the following results add to 9. So pwede pong 3, 6, pwedeng 4, 5, pwedeng 5, 4, at saka pwedeng 6, 3 po. So all in all, there are only 4 outcomes, and that is letter C. Maybe some of you would say, maybe some of you would say, how about yung 1-8? Take note po, wala pong 8 sa dice na nandito based sa ating given. Hindi rin po pwede yung 2, 7 kasi walang 7. That's why ito lang pong 4 ang pwede. So that's 4 outcomes in all, letter C. Okay. So to everyone who answered C, great start. Next item. What is the GCD of 36 and 54? Did you go for 18, 12, 10, or 6? GCD stands for the greatest common divisor. It's the same as greatest common factor po. So it's like asking, what's the GCF of 36 and 54? All right. Marami po sa atin ang sumagot ng A. Okay. Take note, there are many ways of getting the greatest common factor. And I'll just give you one of them, which is using prime factorization. By prime factorization, you could verify this on your own. 36 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Or pwede ring 2 squared times 3 squared. All right. Ano naman po yung prime factorization ni 54? Ito po ay 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. So kung inyo pong mapapansin, 2 is a common factor to both of them. 3 is also a common factor, and this is another 3, which is a common factor. The rest, dapat pares po yan. Pares, pares, pares. The rest have no pairs. And to get the GCF, all we have to, or the GCD in this case, all we have to do is multiply the 2 times 3 times 3, either that of 36 or that of 54. So if you answered 18, great job. Letter A po. All right. So far, so good. Let's proceed to number 123. How about the least common multiple of 36 and 54? Did you go for 54, 96, 108, or 180? Okay, I think many of you are really familiar about this. So when we say LCM or least common multiple, it is the smallest multiple that is common to both to all the numbers involved. No? So if you will skip count by 36, like 36, 72, 108, and so on. If you will skip count by 54, what will be the very first number that will be common in their list? So with such, there are again many ways of doing this. And in my case, I utilize the factors na lang po. Okay, so ito po siya. So I think this is a similar set of numbers for the previous item, no? So all I did was I aligned together factors that are the same. So you see, meron silang 2, so I align them. Ito, meron pa siyang isang 2, but 54 does not have another 2 as a factor. That's why meron po siyang kanyang sariling column. Tapos, align yung 3, align yung 3. Pero yung 54 po natin ay meron pa siyang extra na 3, pero wala na pong 3, no? Sa 36. Kaya yung ginawa po natin ay gumawa po tayo ng sariling column para sa kanya. And yung gagawin po natin next to get the LCM, just do this. So multiply them, copy, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. This is a very elementary way of finding the LCM. And if you do 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3, that gives you 108, letter C. And I also have to agree with what Sir Chad commented. It's the product of the highest powers of primes. Exactly. Ibig sabihin po nito, halimbawa po, yung sa kabila 3 squared, yung sa kabila namang number 3 cubed. Kung ano yung mas mataas na power, say, in this case, 3 cubed, yung mas mataas siya compared sa 3 squared, kaya yun po yung minumultiply natin. Take note, you can also use continuous division method here. At marami pa pong iba. So I hope that you understood po. So letter C. Or if you skip count by 36, 36, 72, 108. Yung 54 naman, 54, 108. So you see, 108 is the very first number na common po sa kanilang list of multiples. Yes, yung ladder method, no? Yun yung tinatawag ng iba na continuous division method po. Salamat po. 124. The sum of 3 odd numbers is it A, odd, B, even, C, prime, or D, perfect? Wow. Marami pong convince sa letter A. Galing. Tingnan po natin kung tama yung letter A. Siguro yung ginagawa ng iba is nagbibigay kayo ng actual numbers, di ba? At inadd. And I do like that. There is also, no, yung iba naman, yung ginagamit nila is yung very highly theoretic na definition. But it's okay. But anyway, for the licensure examination for teachers, hindi naman po kasi required talaga yung solution. So you could stick with any method that you like. In my case po, I gave some specific numbers. So in my case, I have these 3 odd numbers. 1, 3, and 5, and their sum is 9. And I could see that 9 is odd. It's not even. 9 is not prime. In fact, it's a composite number. It's not also a perfect number. That's why, for sure, the sum of 3 odd numbers is always odd. Letter A. Okay, mukhang marami yata makaka-perfect ngayon. Sige, good job. I hope clear po sa atin. And kung may tanong po tayo, huwag po tayong mahiyang magtanong, okay? Don't hesitate to write your concerns in our chat po. Yes, thank you po, Ma'am Nurses, ma'am. That's why in my case, I just gave 3 numbers that satisfy the situation, add them, and check which works. Okay. All right. 125. If x is any positive integer, then which of the following is even? Is it A, 2x plus 1, B, 2x plus 2, C, 2x plus 3, or D, 2x plus 5? Okay. So far, marami po sa atin ang sumagot ng B. Okay. Okay. Siguro yung ginawa ng iba po is ganito. Siguro nag-try kayo ng X, no? At saka kung anong i-substitute nyo, okay, add ito. Even, add. Marami pong paraan. Okay, trial and error daw, sabi ni Sir Francisco. And that's totally fine po. Now, there are many ways of doing this. But in my case, if we examine option B po, you can do trial and error, no? Diba yung 2x plus 2? You could see that 2 is the greatest common factor ng 2x at saka ng 2. That's why, by factoring out the greatest common factor, I factored out 2. 2x divided by 2 will be x. 2 divided by 2 will be plus 1. That's why 2x plus 2 is factored as 2 multiplied by the quantity x plus 1. And if you could see po, sa given form na to, you could see that 2 here is a factor. And by definition, if 2 is one of the factors, then it follows that the given expression is an even number. So since 2 is a factor, then 2x plus 2 is always even for any integer value of x. And the rest, I'm sure, are not. You may check them on your own. You try substituting x as either odd or even sa any of A, C, and D, and I'm sure they will give you odd values. So the correct answer po is letter B. Okay. 126. A certain natural number greater than 1 has odd number of positive factors. What is true of this number? Is it odd, even, perfect square, or prime? Okay. Dito yata tayo hati. May sumagot ng perfect square, may sumagot ng even, may sumagot ng prime. Okay. If you answered even number, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Bakit po? For example, an even number, I'll give you an even number 2. 2 is 1 times 2. And 2 has 2 factors, namely 1 and 2. If you answered prime, I'm sorry, it is also incorrect. Bakit incorrect po si prime? For example, 3 is a prime number. Its positive factors is 1 and 3 only. There are 2 factors, and 2 is an even number. If you answered odd number, I'm sorry, it is also incorrect. Bakit po? Like the number 3, 3 is an odd number, and it has 2 factors, and 2 is an even number. Tandaan po natin, if a natural number has odd number of factors, remember po natin, square numbers have an odd number of factors, positive factors. For example, the number 4. 4 has 3 factors, namely 1, 2, and 4. 9 has 3 factors, 1, 3, and 9. 16 has factors 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. 16 has 5 factors. That's why tandaan po natin. If a number has odd number of positive factors, it's a square or a perfect square number. Letter C. Okay. Sana all, Sir Chad. Okay. Good job po. So, it's okay, no? Kung tama po tayo, good. Pero if not, what's more important is we are learning. 127. How do we know if a natural number is divisible by 3? Did you go for A, B, C, or D? All right. Many are convinced na letter A po yung tamang sagot. And if you answered A, you should be very proud of yourself. Tandaan po natin, no? Without even dividing the number by 3 and checking for the remainder, you can actually tell that a natural number is divisible by 3 if the sum of its digits, kapag inad mo yung digits ng number na yan, halimbawa po, 45. 4 plus 5, 9. So since 9 is divisible by 3, it follows, therefore, that 9 is divisible by 3. So letter A po, yung tamang sagot. Good job. Yung letter C naman po ay divisibility rule ito by 9. 128. What digit or digits will make the 5-digit number 1432y divisible by 4? Is it 0, 4, 8, or choices A, B, and C are correct? Oh, wow! Parang unanimous po yata tayo sa number 128. Tignan po natin kung tama kayo. I hope you could still remember the divisibility rule by 4. That is, tandaan po natin, a number is divisible by, remember, a number is divisible by 4 if the number formed by the last 2 digits is divisible by 4. Yung tens, yung number na formed by the tens and ones digit is divisible by 4. So that is, if you have this 5-digit number, it follows that the number 2y, this number, yung tens digit niya 2, yung ones digit niya y, must be divisible by 4. So 2. So alam nating 20 is divisible by 4. 20, if y is 4, 24 is divisible by 4. And 28 is also divisible by 4. That's why if you answered letter D, choices A, B, and C are correct, then you got it right po. All right. Automatic na divisible na po kasi hundreds region. Depende po. Tandaan po natin. Kasi dapat kasi yung last 2 digits talaga divisible by 4. Yun po yung mahalaga. Kung iba po yung hundreds digit natin, so mag-iiba din po yung value ni y natin. Okay. I hope na malinaw po sa ating lahat. Okay. 129. Salamat po. So don't worry po, MJ, no? So Ma'am, Teacher MJ, we are all learning and reviewing po. 129. Let S be equal to 4 plus 8 plus 12 plus ... all the way until plus 4n, where n is a natural number. Which of the following is equal to S? Okay, marami po yung sumagot. So far, we have 3 people who commented, or 4, 5, and the list keeps growing. And if you could see po, no, this is in fact an arithmetic series. With the first form of, if you could see, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4 lang po tayo all throughout. So this is an arithmetic series with the first term of 4 and a common difference of 4 also. Kasi plus 4 po tayo all throughout. And I hope you could still remember the formula or for the partial sum or the sum of the first n terms of an arithmetic sequence. That's n over 2 multiplied by the quantity a sub 1 plus a sub n, where n is the number of terms, a sub 1 is the first term, and a sub n is the last term. Okay? That's why kung inyo po makikita, meron po tayong n terms. So that's why n is still n. Yung first term po natin ay 4. Yung last term po natin ay 4n. So by substitution, ito po ay magiging s sub n equals n over 2 multiplied by the quantity 4 plus 4n. Okay? Tapos, pero kung inyo po mapapansin, no, sa 4 plus 4n, meron po tayong GCF na 4. That's why I factored out 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4n divided by 4 is n. And from here, no, yung n over 2 times 4, 4 over 2 will be 2. At saka 2 times n po, that will be 2n here sa labas. At yung nasa loob ay magiging 1 plus n. So letter B is the correct answer. All right. 130. If n is any natural number, which of the following is odd? Did you go for A, B, C, or D? If you answered letter A, I'm sorry, this will always be even. If you may try po. For letter B naman, since you have a factor of 2, so this will always be even. For letter D naman po, 4n is even, 8 is even, and the difference of two even numbers is always even. And if you check letter C option, if n is even, halimbawa 8, ito ay magiging 2 times 8 plus 1, which is 17. It's an odd number. Kahit ang n po natin ay odd number. Halimbawa po, 9 yung ating n. If you do the substitution, magiging 2 times 9 plus 1, which is 19 po, which is still an odd number. That's why, if n is any natural number, we are sure that the number of the form 2n plus 1 is always an odd number. So, tama nga po yung ating letter C. 131. When n is a natural number, divisible by 8? Saan kaya dito? When it ends in at least 3 zeros. Tama nga pa si 1. Is 1 correct? When it ends in at least 3 zeros, does it mean divisible by 8 siya? And the answer is yes. Tandaan po natin, if you have a number that ends in at least 3 zeros, kahit anong number po yan, surely, pasok po yan. Divisible po yan by 8. How about yung number 2? When the last 3 digits is divisible by 8? Tama rin po ito. Kahit gaano kalaking yung number na yan, kahit ilang milyong digits yan, basta yung last digit, yung last 3 digits niya, the number formed by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8. So the whole number is divisible by 8. The third one, when the sum of digits is divisible by 8, hindi po ito. In fact, if you answered 1 and 2, yun po yung tamang sagot. That's why be very careful po. It's 1 and 2. So letter A. Okay, so ilan tayo nakakuha sa atin? So around, okay, mga siguro may mga 1, 2, 3, at least 3 po sa atin nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Don't worry, be careful po ha. It doesn't follow na kapag yung sum ng digits mo ay divisible by 8, magiging divisible by 8, hindi po pwede. Halimbawa po, 233. 2 plus 3 plus 3 is 8. It's divisible by 8. Pero 233 in the first place is not divisible by 8 po. The sum is 8, but it doesn't follow na divisible siya by 8. So be careful po. 132. How many positive factors does 24 have? Did you go for 8, 9, 10, or 11? Okay, I'll give you a few moments to write down your answer. Wow! Siguro, marami po sa atin nilista yung factors. And there are 8 of them. That's actually no problem po. But apart from listing, no, meron pong isang way, efficient way to determine the actual factors by utilizing the prime factorization ng number natin. By prime factorization, you could verify that 24 is equal to 2 cubed times 3. To determine the number of factors, of positive factors po, simple lang yung 3. Yung exponent po, take note ha, kailangang prime number yung base. Okay? The prime power method. Tama po yan. Yung exponent po, dagdagan natin ng 1. Di ba 3 yung exponent? So add 1 to it, it will become 4. Yung ito naman, 1 yung exponent niya, dagdagan mo ng 1. 1 plus 1 magiging 2. And after mong dagdagan yung lahat ng exponent by 1, it is high time that you multiply them all. So 4 times 2, 8 factors po yung 24. Letter A. So you could verify that by actual listing. But here I was able to show to you na ito pong paraan ay maaaring gamitin natin, no? Especially if the number that we are dealing with is too big or too large. I hope na na-clear po sa atin. Take note ha, kailangang prime number po yung base. Kung ang base mo ay hindi prime number, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yung technique na to. Kailangang prime number muna ang base natin. Salamat po. And thank you also, Sir Chad, for commenting. 133. Again, kung may tanong po kayo, huwag po kayong mahiyang mag-chat, okay? Or if we need to slow down a bit, please tell me po. 133. How many natural numbers below 20 are relatively prime to 20? Okay, we have 8. For this problem, when we say relatively prime po, yung GCF ng number na yan at saka nung 20 ay dapat 1. Meaning, their common factor is only positive 1. And I agree again with user chat, no? It's the phi of 20, which is a totient or totient function sa ating number theory. So don't worry po. For now, kasi maliit lang naman yung 20, so yung ginawa ko, nilista ko na lang. Two numbers are relatively prime, or in some books they call it co-prime, if their greatest common factor is 1. Yes, tama po yung Euler's totient function. Pero for now, kasi maliit lang naman yung 20, hindi ko na siya ginamit. But don't worry, in our mid-review, ipapakita ko po sa inyo, no, yung totient function na to. So, natural numbers below 20 that are relatively prime to 20 are the following. For example, 1. 1 and 20 have a GCF of 1. 3 and 20 have a greatest common factor of 1. 7 and 20 have a greatest common factor of 1. The rest are 9, 11, 13, 17, 19. And there are actually 8 of them in our list, letter B. Yes, exactly po. No? Ginagamit po yan sa modulo problems natin. Especially kapag parang tumataas yung level. Okay. But for now, since 20 is small, nilista ko lang po muna. You could see, no, yung prime factors ni 20 are 2 and 5. So lahat ng numbers below, ng natural numbers below 20 na walang factor na 2 or 5 ang part ng listahan po natin. Don't worry, I will introduce more of this in the mid-review po. Salamat. letter B. And marami pong nakakuha ng sagot. Okay. 134. Is 6 a perfect number? Yes, no, maybe, or unknown. Okay, sabi ni Sir Chad, yes daw. Sir Jomar also said the same thing. Okay, yes, the next perfect number after 6 is 28 daw, sabi ni Sir Chad. Now, let's define what is a perfect number in number theory. A natural number n is considered perfect if the sum of its proper factors is itself. Ibig sabihin po nito, no, if the sum of its positive proper factors is itself. Kapag sinabi po nating positive proper factors, lahat ng positive factors niya maliban sa kanyang sarili. So kung i-add mo lahat ng factors niya except itself, dapat yung sum niya ay the number itself. You could see po that the factors of 6, the positive factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6, di po ba? Pero, again, we will not include the number itself. Because when we say proper factors, lahat ng factors na mas maliit sa number itself. So, di ba? So, anong kasali? Ito ay number 1. So, yung factors niya, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6. Pero kapag sinabi nating proper factors, 1, 2, at saka 3 lang. So, if you will add the proper factors, 1 plus 2 plus 3, it gave the number itself. That's why, since the sum of proper factors equals the number itself, hence 6 is a perfect number. Letter A. Sa ibang books, ibang definition po yung ginagamit nila. Yung sa ibang books, the sum of all factors is twice the number. Pwede rin po yun. So, depende po sa reference na ginagamit natin. Okay, salamat po. So, perfect number po siya. In fact, I do agree with Sir Chad. The next perfect number after 6 is 28. Thank you po, Sir Chad. 135. Which of the following is true if this expression here, A with this B, means A divides B? This vertical segment is read as divides. A divides B. Okay, let's see. May question mark ata yung isa, si Sir Chad. Let's see. Does 4 divide 4? Take note, if A divides B, it means that A should be a factor of B. So A, it also means A is a factor of B. Is 4 a factor of 14? No. Therefore, A is false. Is 8 a factor of 2? No also, right? Because a factor should never be larger than the number itself. Is 2 a factor of 4? Yes. Therefore, 2 divides 4. This is a true statement. Yung letter D, 14 divides 4, mali rin po yan. Because 14 is not a factor of 4. Hence, if you answered letter C, very good. Great job po. Tama kayo. I hope nakuha po natin. Kung may katanungan po ha, huwag na iyang magtanong. Next. For what value of k is 2k plus 7 is divisible by 3? Did you go for 5, 6, 7, or 8? Okay, you can do some sort of substitution here. Okay. So yes po, Ma'am Antoinette, don't worry po, laban lang po. Yes, yan po yung mahalaga. Lumalaban po tayo. And I think you can do some sort of trial and error here or testing values. If you will check, if you try option C, if you replace k by 7, 2 times 7 plus 7, that's 14 plus 7, And that gives you 21, right? And 21 is divisible by 3. Surely, 3 divides 21 because 3 is a factor of 21. Therefore, indeed, letter C is correct. Good job. Kung i-try nyo po yung ibang options, sure ako, you may try, no? Or you may verify at your own. Others will not produce a number that's divisible by 3 po. Okay. Salamat po. 137. What is the remainder when 2 raised to 29 is divided by 7? So, modulo na tayo. Number theory. So, kung i-divide mo yung number na to by 7, 1, 2, 3, or 4 kaya yung remainder? Okay. According kay Sir Chad, meron tayong Fermat's Little Theorem. Yes, marami pong theorem ang pwedeng gamitin dito. In my case, I use modular arithmetic muna. So, 2 raised to 29 divided by 7 in number theory could be written as 2 raised to 29 is congruent. Congruent po ito, is congruent to blank mod 7. Bakit mod 7? The 7 here is our divisor. So therefore, the blank there, the number in the blank should be the remainder. In my case, naghanap po ako ng power ni 2 na kapag i-divide natin by 7, will produce a remainder either 1 or negative 1. Okay? Now, so ginawa ko, I found out that 2 cubed is equal to 8, no? And 8, when divided by 7, will give me a remainder of 1. That's why 2 cubed is congruent to 1 mod 7. Yung sa left side po, kinopya ko lang. Yung right side, remainder. Yung kinagandahan po kasi, no, kapag meron kang 1 o negative 1, at kapag i-erase mo siya by any natural number, it will either give you any of 1 or negative 1. Depende po. Now, the thing is, ano pong i-erase natin sa 3 na malapit sa 29? Ano po kaya yung i-erase natin sa 3? Or yung exponent, i-multiply natin kay 3? Anong natural number ang i-multiply natin sa exponent na 3 na malapit, na pinakamalapit sa 29? So, pwedeng 9, tama po. That's why we will raise to 9 both sides. Take note, in doing modulo po, we can do any operation. Whatever operation done on the left side could also be done on the right side, except multiplication by 0 or division by a natural number. The rest, pwede po. And by the laws of exponent, 2 cubed raised to 9, we copy the base and multiply their exponents. So this is 2 raised to 3 times 9 or 2 raised to 27. And 1 raised to 9 is just 1, mod 7. Then, remember, ang goal po natin ay 2 raised to 29. Pero ang nakamit po natin ngayon ay 2 raised to 27. We should multiply both sides by 2 squared para ma-reach po natin si 2 raised to 29. And the left side simplifies to 2 raised to 29. At saka yung 1 times 2 squared ay magiging 4 po, mod 7. And if you could see, 4 po yun nandito at na-reach na po natin yung desired expression natin. This tells us that 4 is the remainder when 2 raised to 29 is divided by 7. Letter D. May nagtatanong po ata, no? Saglit lang po, may nagtatanong po. Is there a shortcut po in the calcu? I'm not There's a shortcut if the numbers you are dealing with is small. However, if sometimes if the number we encoded is very large, our calculator might not give us of the remainder. So I believe it's essential really if we know the shortcut, no, or if we know modular arithmetic to determine the remainder. May ibang paraan pero modular arithmetic pa rin po yung ginagamit nila. So ito pa rin po, no? Kahit sa mga competitions po, ito po yung tiniteach ko, pero in an informal manner. Yeah. Hindi yung ganito yung steps, no? Pero similar po yung, sa atin po kasi, ginawa ko siyang step by step. Yes, mahaba po siya. Tama po yan. Ginawa ko po siyang mahaba para makita po ninyo yung steps. Sige lang po. Mahaba po. Don't worry, ganyan talaga minsan yung math, no? Minsan nga kapag calculus natin, isang problem, 3 pages. Okay. Sige po. Don't worry po, laban lang. 138. A rectangle, as I mentioned, that are both natural numbers. How many of these rectangles have an area of 24 square units? Disregard the order of numbers, meaning, halimbawa, 1 times 24 is the same as 24 times 1. Are there 4 rectangles, 5, 6, or 7? All right. Some answered A. Let's see if A is correct. By using the same technique earlier, I had the prime factorizations. You could see no, na yung number of factors niya, like nang sinabi natin kanina, add lang natin ng 1 yung exponents. 3 plus 1, 4. 1 plus 1, 2. So, it has 8 factors. It was known earlier. Pero sa 8 na yan, di ba? Bawat rectangle kasi may isang length at saka isang width. So, pair po yan. That's why 8 divided by 2 gives us 4 such rectangles. At kung magtataka kayo, ano yung 4 na yan? Pwedeng 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, at saka 4 times 6. Letter A po. Wala na pong iba yan that's for sure. Sir, pwede pa 24 times 1. Pero based on the problem natin, order should be disregarded. And thus, order should not matter. So letter A po, yung tamang sagot. O yung ginagawa ko nila, no? After mo yung 8 na to, divide mo na lang by 2. 4 yan. At ito po yung 4 na yun. Nilista ko na po. Let's proceed to the next one. Suppose we have 2 even natural numbers. The following is also always even except quotient, product, difference, or sum. Okay. Tama nga kaya si A? Hindi ba always even yung kanilang quotient? Let's see. Actually po, suppose we have 2 even natural numbers now. Let's just give a simple example. Let's say these 2 even numbers are 12 and 4. If you divide, when we say quotient, so division is implied. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 3 is an odd number. That's why dividing 2 even numbers does not always produce an even number. It may produce an odd number, and sometimes it may produce non-integers, or like say fractions or decimals. Kung product naman, 12 times 4 ay 48, even. Yung difference nila, 12 minus 4 is 8, it's even. Their sum, 12 plus 4 is 16, is also even. Take note po, no, that in some instances, negative integers are also could also be even, like negative 5, negative 8, that's also an even number. So letter A, the quotient of 2 even numbers is not always even. Kapag equal po sila, exactly, kapag equal po sila, 1 yung sagot, except po, assuming na hindi po sila equal to 0, dividing a number by itself will give you 1, and it is an odd number. Thank you po, Sir Chan. And one more, the product of 8 consecutive natural numbers is always divisible by, did you go for 5,050, 40,320, 50,080, or 362,880? Okay, so far, we could see a lot of these. And actually po, I hope you could still remember a certain theorem related to it. We have a theorem that states, and you could verify this. The product of n consecutive natural numbers is always divisible by n factorial. So dahil 8 natural numbers po tayo, dapat divisible din po siya ng 8 factorial. And if you see this, no, 8 factorial, the one with the exclamation point, means 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, or simply the product of all the whole numbers from 8 all the way down until 1, and that gives you 40,320. Letter B. So if you got this item, okay. So that concludes our review for tonight. I hope you learned something. And with that, thank you very much and a great day to one and all.